Welcome to the Short Funk Podcast. I'm Tom Barbalet, and today the Noble Ape March. In fact, this is a particularly interesting recording because I put the track Feline, which came before the Noble Ape March on the Isle of the Apes CD, together with the Noble Ape March to give the full impact of the kind of movement into the Noble Ape March. The Noble Ape March was important to me because it defined a series of issues that I saw. There's a discussion associated with politicians. There's a discussion associated with ask yourself, are you a monkey in a simulation? I have a number of regrets associated with this track, which we'll get to in a minute. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about Feline. I was very interested in using sound in the Noble Ape development, early bird sounds, various positional movement sounds, and also sound analysis. Unfortunately, the processing that was available with the PowerBook 1400 didn't really allow me to do a lot of that. I've gone back, and now there's Noble Ape speech in the simulation, which is frequency generated. But still, rather than producing it in real time, which I really should do, it's produced in output AIFF files, which can be generated through the command line currently. I did a lot of experiments associated with frequency exploration and also, would it be possible to convey various emotional elements just through digitally produced sound? And Feline is part of that exploration. I mean, obviously it was very specifically created for the Isle of the Apes CD, but I wanted to show some of that analysis. The water sounds that you hear towards, well, it's interesting because there's no beginning and end here, but the water sounds that are heard within the transition are actually me talking with polymorphic analysis and post-processing to make it sound like water. One of my great regrets associated with the Noble Ape March was the fact that I used the polymorphic sound elements so heavily, particularly on my voice. There was a style at the time, and here we're talking about the mid to late 90s, where the spoken audio track of, rap lyrics, for want of a better term, was always slightly under the existing music. I'm trying to think of examples of this. Well, I posted one recently at the end of the Stone Ape audio recording, where the rapper's voice is almost like part of the audio track and not particularly distinguishable. This is one of my greatest regrets with regards to the Noble Ape March. I think if I'd actually taken my raw audio and just recorded it sufficiently that the noise problems that I was encountering through recording this audio were better, then it would have been, a better track from my perspective. I actually answered this track with Plain Insane, which will be one of the future Short Funk recordings, where I made sure that the spoken audio, the rapped audio, is the way I would have liked to have recorded the Noble Ape March. The singer here, Helen Thompson, I worked with Helen quite extensively. I have a lot of her audio recordings digitally. I think I was one of the earliest people she knew that had digital recordings. It was a mutually beneficial working relationship through this. And the theme of the Noble Ape March, aside from the highly discordant piano, which we'll get to in a minute as well, related to a lullaby that I was sung as a child. And I wanted to do the Noble Ape March in that theme as well. The reversed piano loop was also presented in another track, which was, I think, called the Noble Ape March Extended Remix on the CD. That was actually a very interesting issue because it appeared that that track had been sampled by Aphex Twin, I don't know what we'll call them, experimental electronic kind of dark audio producer in the UK. I sent a number of copies of Isle of the Apes to the UK, and it came down to, because there was always this kind of disaffected discourse, for want of a better term, in Australia associated with sampling and copying Australian ideas. So I went through a relatively detailed frequency analysis process with a few other folk to actually confirm that Aphex Twin was sampling directly from the Noble Ape March for his track Window Licker. Folks who are familiar with Window Licker will see the similarities at least. And there was actually another response track to that, which I will be putting in the Short Funk musical recordings as well. Without further ado, here is the Noble Ape March.
polymorphic sounds filtered across the underground now to make it across the seas. And I know the bees. So tell me, bees coming back to these. Laying down the vocals on the track, just my mind, trusting my mind back. The women with lyrical achievement made of physical will up with one line down in the vocal. You never know quite what the author is thinking with his lush lyric idea. I'm sitting there drinking and clicking on the house to add meaning to this song. You think you're a noble age just marching along. Noble apes wearing suits and ties. I see the noble apes on podiums, telling lies. I see the noble apes in the shops and shopping. I see the noble apes pretending to get common. But I'm not a noble ape who tries to decide. No, I'm just a desire. Pick up the microphone. So when you're at home playing my nation, I'll just for you a monkey in a simulation.
Thank you very much for listening to one of my recordings that I would have done so much differently if I'd been in a different mindset at a different time. These recordings really capture an element of just escape, and this is a theme that I want to go through these short funk recordings as well. I've realised that this short funk recording has gone completely over time, so I'm just going to conclude it here. Tom Barbalet in San Jose, signing out.